I'm Annie Hughes-Bass. I'm a family medicine physician and also obesity medicine physician here in Lubbock, Texas. And we're here to talk today about obesity medicine and weight loss journey. I got started on my journey in 2020 after having COVID. I think I probably felt like a lot of healthcare providers did at that time when we started hearing that the people that fared the worst were, overweight or obese or had hypertension. And at that time, I was both. I had been significantly obese, morbidly obese most of my adult life. Kind of got that little nagging feeling like I should really do something about this, and ended up getting really sick. And I think that was the turning point for me as far as like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to put myself in a position where I have participated in worsening risk factors that could leave my kids, without a parent. And so I, as I would with any decision, decided to go to a conference because obviously, what does the research say? And I really got into obesity medicine just really to help myself. But through that process, I think of learning, it really led to everything else, to eventually becoming board certified in obesity medicine. And now this is my favorite thing to do because I think it's so transformational. It's not just the weight, and it's more than the health improvements, because I think my experience at least was that so much of the change is internal, not just on the external. What about you?
I have struggled my entire life as well with my weight, and but after having my last child, actually after having an implanton implanted, gained 40 pounds within 1 year. And every doctor I saw just, calorie deficit, exercise, eat right, which my background is a nurse and military. I knew all the things to do. I know how to do them, but it's not working, and nobody was listening to me. And so finally, somebody gave me your name, which, I have a history knowing you, but I did not know you were doing this. And when I went to you, you were the first person that looked deep into my blood work, what's really going on, drew my insulin levels, which of course were crazy high. You talked about transformation. People treat you different.
Yeah.
And sorry, people just look at you differently.
Silly. I know.
One of the questions was, that we kind of thought we were going to talk about today was, what was the hardest part of losing weight? And it wasn't anything like personal. It was seeing how people started treating me better, and it just made me mad because that person deserved that too, So, sorry, but
no,
that for me was the hardest part, was realizing like how awful people are, like not even looking you in the face. Or so for you to give me that gift back of just having like human connection was phenomenal.
No,
without having to have weight loss surgery, because that's where I was going next, was booking a trip overseas to get some surgery, because, insurance and all those things wouldn't. I just needed a quick option because I was desperate, kind of like you were talking about, like kids, you get to the point where your kids are going to live without their mom, or because I was not in a good place emotionally, physically, spiritually, anything. So
I think that's why what we do is so special, is because, the meds are great, and that should be the last thing that we get to, because way before that, we're talking about, the inside, because, it is a crazy thing to be a female in our society. The one message you get loud and clear, your whole life, is that so much of your worth is determined by your appearance. And, what we know from other areas of research is any victim of bias cannot help but internalize that. And so most of us are living with intense shame, self-hatred, and keep in mind that you're still participating in an activity, as far as eating, that is going to worsen this, and you have to figure that out. We spent a lot of time talking about why, and I think that's one. Two, you've got to get the underlying physiology fixed.
Right.
And that was 100% not your fault. And then I think at the end, there's a beautiful place for the meds for really relearning normal hunger signaling. What about you?
No, I'm tearing up with her because I feel it. I was never big, And then all of a sudden I started gaining weight, and I put on a good 80 pounds in 2 years. The doctor I was going to was pumping up my blood pressure medications, telling me to eat more often, exercise. I was killing myself. I was literally killing myself. You looked at my blood work and what she says about people and the way they treat you, to go into a store and either you're too big to be here or you're not big enough to be here. I was walking that line. I got to where I wouldn't eat in public. I would only eat at home.
Because people, it feels like people are looking. I know.
And judging. Saved my life.
If you have not walked that path, you cannot understand. Like the terror of like getting on a plane and am I going to have to ask for a seatbelt
Yes.
extender, you know, and just always the constant just shame and like discomfort, you know, like really trying to go over so that you're not inconveniencing, you know.
Right.